And tonight on our Great American panel, he, a Democratic strategist. He's worked with New York Senator Chuck Schumer. Fox News contributor Chris Hahn is here. She, a great professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University. Author of Be the People, political analyst Carol Swain is back. He, the former great mayor of the city of Providence, currently hosts his own radio program, The Buddy Cianci Show. Author of Politics and Pasta. Vincent, Buddy, Cianci. Only you could get away with this.
Great book. You should
well, no, we were talking just before we came on about Peter Schweizer's book, and we're going to have Peter back next week on the program here. But he points out, Congress, it's legal to do insider trading. Everybody else goes to jail.
Yep.
Insider trading is legal.
It's legal, and the senators have done it all the time, and they've done it consistently. And the biggest example that he gives in the book is when we had the financial crisis in 2008. Paulson, the Secretary of the Treasury, and Bernanke met with a bunch of senators. He said, "Oh,
and congressmen." He talks
and
about
congressmen,
yes.
and we're going to go off the cliff." So what do these senators do? They sell their stock.
Yeah.
And
no, 90 trades in one day by one congressman.
By one congressman, and then we have our own senator in Rhode Island, White House. He traded the very next day. And in addition, you know, I have a way to solve the fiscal problems in all these states that we have pension problems. They're like Nostradamus, these senators. What we should do is we should have them pick up the phone every night, and what they've learned in Congress or what they've learned from briefings, just call the general treasurer where they live and say, buy this stock or sell this one short.
They should have to have a blind trust, just like the president. They should not be able to trade on anything that they're overseeing at all.
Let me give it two examples. Nancy Pelosi is getting IPOs that hedge fund people can't get because of her position. John Kerry's writing healthcare legislation, investing in people that'll be the beneficiary of his own legislation.
You know, it shouldn't happen, and it happens on both sides of the aisle. And the example you gave about Pelosi was her husband's investments, not hers. You got to separate that.
Separate nothing. It was information and connections with it. Yeah, exactly.
But the old man and her, they're like.
Well, whatever it is, listen. We're all in agreement here. They should be in a blind trust, and they should have nothing to do.
I mean, Kerry
takes. There's a problem with a blind trust because somebody can call and say, I noticed this is happening. What are your thoughts?
I agree that that we should have something like a blind trust, but also that now that we know that this is going on, that there should be a legislative solution that would close the possibilities of it happening again.
Yep.
The best one is Amgen. When they found out that Amgen Medicare was not going to honor or not be payments for a certain cancer drug, Kerry and White House, they go down the next day, boom, they sell out because it was $10 billion that company was going to lose. But they're like, they're smart. They're just smarter than everybody else. It's not that they're. By the way, one other thing, really interesting, when you look at how they did on markets, when they compare, Peter does this in the book. Number one, hedge funds beat the market by about 7%. U.S. senators beat the market by 12%.
Isn't that great?
Geniuses. They're geniuses.
What about that? Why aren't they protesting, Carol, at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the Capitol, considering that is the cronyism that is far beyond anything they're claiming? Wall Street, they'll perp walk you, handcuff you, and put your picture in the paper.
There's so many linkages to the Democrats and the Obama White House that I think that they're engaged in actions that they believe will help Obama's re-election
there's been listen, the Democrats aren't that organized to organize protests in 45 cities across the country. I've been part of this party for a long time. If they were, they'd be calling me for money for it, and they're not. So I would imagine that this is just something that's sprung up. It's grassroots.
It's not grassroots.
It's organic. It's
Mayor Bloomberg said that the labor was busted into New York yesterday. So he said it, and he's not a conservative. Here's my question for you, though. Why won't Obama, why won't Democrats say that this movement is not anything we want to be a part of? They've endorsed it. They continue to endorse it, even after all the rape, violence, criminality.
Not all Democrats have endorsed it, but many of them should, and many more should, because let me tell you something. It's a pushback on this politics that has been benefiting a very small class of people in this.
Violence.
Wait a minute.
You know what? You can't demonize the whole movement by actions of individuals. They tried to do that with the Tea Party. You fought me on that.
The Tea Party did nothing, though.
There were people that were.
You know what I love about this? Barney Frank.
Within a
great
couple
congressman, he goes to he says, I endorse. I think they're great people. Occupy.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. And then where does he go? He goes to Wall Street to raise money the very same day and takes money.
Carol, last word.
Within a couple of weeks of the protests, there was a website that had links to union activities, and it was a very slick website.
So what?
It was so well organized. It wasn't
the union way of life is being threatened by Republicans all over this country, and they should be in the streets protesting every single day.
And so they give
and knocking down barricades, and 7 cops are hurt, and one got 20 stitches.
Scott Walker is going to be hearing from the union movement.
How much
next
do you want to
year.
Bet? I'll take that bet.
Let's do it.
Or the great American panel.
I love the smell of protest in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know what? You can live with the smell of Occupy Wall Street. More of the great American panel next.